Has anybody noticed with Fulham's transfer policy? Since Marco Silva walked in the door, it has changed from what it previously was. The club seems to be signing players that do look kind of finished at the clubs they were at, and they take them to revive their careers. Adama Traore was outcast at Barcelona, not doing well. Then the same with Emil Smith-Rowe. He wasn't making his mark at Arsenal. So today I'm going to team up with Marco. I'm going to be his director of football. And I'm going to make sure this continues, as Fulham can only sign failed Wonderkids. Now, we've previously done this on the channel, and you guys know there's a list to this, which we are going to tick through, finding players we haven't signed before, as the ultimate aim with this is to take Fulham to the Champions League title, only signing them players that aren't working in football any longer. Yes, people, and I don't mean they've been sacked, but here we go with Fulham, reviving this team of players, and I always get excited for taking these over. And the first thing that I spot is I was completely right on the intro. There is Traore, there is Smith-Rowe, but there's also a lot more failed players here. Iwobi failed at Arsenal, Jimenez had his setback injury, Leno failed at Arsenal, and Castagna got relegated with Leicester City. As not only are we signing youngsters today, we can sign any age of players, just players that haven't worked out any longer, and I've already got some in mind. Sander Berg didn't work out. He was in the Premier League with Sheffield United. Diop didn't work out. Willian didn't work out back in the Prem. And the biggest one of all, Sessegnon. He didn't work at Tottenham Hotspur. This is a really failed Wonderkid side. Nelson Wilson, Vinicius. Big props to Marco Silva. He has this team playing football in real life on a charge to try and maybe get some European football. Andreas Pereira is another one. He was at Manchester United. As I'm realizing a lot of cams and CDMs at this club, that's going to be useful for the formation, as that's the first thing we have to think about. I think this save's already self-explanatory. We're going to be signing players that are going down in the career and had huge potential at some point along the way, as I do want CDMs and cams, but I would also like wingers. So the 4-2-1-3. We're going to rock this here with this team. I think it's already set. Pereira's still on the bench. Sessegnon I'd like to get into the team. Muniz I'd definitely like in the future, as we can currently use the players at the club as is. So I'm going to get the bench set, and then I'm going to try and work out our first signing. Harry Wilson over Traore just for the youth, as we need to get younger. However, the first lot of players I have in mind are kind of older. The older players are running out of potential, and we do have a young spine at the moment. Sander Berg, Lukic. I do want to probably get one of them on loan in order to sign our first player, as I need to get some of these out on loan as well. Maybe Emil Smith-Rowe. He's still 23, and I need to sign failed Wonderkids. At the moment, also Rodrigo Muniz. He's 23. Reece Nelson's only on loan, but I tell you what, we could make him a permanent. He's not doing the best at Arsenal, of course, not the worst. He hasn't been sold by them. As £49 million, and that is enough to get us spending straight away, as I'm not going to be using the academy. Let's get the loan boys out first, shall we? Like I say, plenty of players on the shortlist, so let's get some out. To get them growing a lot more than the older players, I'm going to sign as Muniz to Crystal Palace. Mateta won't be happy. A Sessegnon to Manchester United. Not the move I'd really expect. A Smith-Rowe out for 2 years. And Sander Berg, surprisingly enough, has a loan deal to Manchester City. Hopefully that ups all the ratings. I'm not bothered about losing Smith-Rowe for 2 years. He is still our player, but he's going to be playing in Euro, and hopefully growing himself, as we definitely need a CDM now, and maybe another cam. We do have Pereira for the time being, and Iwobi, who I want to be a winger, but it's going to take time. 207 weeks, so I think we also need a left-hand sided man to keep on growing until Iwobi makes that position his own. And there's a player over in America who's done it before in this Premier League, and he recently meant mad about it on social media, saying he didn't get his hype he deserved. So just to cover Iwobi whilst he's still in training, and same with Emil Smith-Rowe, we have brought in Wilfried Zaha, as the initial aim is just to survive, and we've probably overpaid a little bit on him. And he's not an ex-Arsenal player, which the next one is, and we've got plenty of those in the team. Exhibit A, Reece Nelson, who, you know what, I just feel has failed a little bit over at Arsenal, and he's 24, so I might try buy him. As there we go, it's no longer a loan. We permanently own Reece the winger, and this man, who may have been his teammate at some time, another ex-Arsenal player, Lucas Torreira, who cost a lot more than I expected, but I can't believe it. Only 27 million for an 83 rated when he arrived, and I thought it was like 78 overall. Must have really been playing well over in Turkey. Now he's an 85 DM with Lukic, Pereira, Jimenez. We're struggling up front with the 34-year-old retiree. He's had a brilliant career. We've got Vinicius, who didn't leave. Rodrigo Muniz is 77, which isn't great, but then we've got growing players, and I did loan out Alex Iwobi. I thought if he isn't going to change position, why not loan him out? His stats might grow attacking-wise, making it quicker for him to be a left mid. We've got Smith Rowe at an 81. We've got the best players being defensive, so that should be good in terms of staying in the Prem, because that's our first aim. Like I say, we've signed some old players. Just stay in the top flight. As our top scorer is the decreased Wilfred Zaha. He only had a job to do for a season, and we've not just stayed in the Premier League, but we've finished in 9th position, somewhere I believe they will finish in real life at the moment. 55 goals conceded though, that's actually quite bad. Come on, we've got to get in the Champions League, or got to fight for Europe next year. We might have done this season like they're doing in real life, like I said previously, and I wouldn't mind winning a cup, but that's embarrassing getting beat by Fleetwood in round 3 of the FA Cup, and then a Derby Day defeat to Chelsea, where Sessegnon on loan, and I'm not happy with this first season overall. So in order for us to improve, you guys need to subscribe to the channel. We're on a big race to 50k, and please smash that like button on the video. Really helps the channel more than you know. As how did our loan boys do? Sander Berge has been to City, so that's believable that it goes to an 80 rated. Sessegnon can't fit in the team, with Robinson being our best player, and Iwobi still has to change to a winger, but at least he's 80 rated now. Don't have a huge squad, but I'm going to change this around to the way I like it, which is this. We've got Iwobi, Wilson, Muniz, Pereira. Very good team now. Sessegnon at right back. We could maybe look for another one, but the position I actually want, despite him only 24, is another striker to replace Muniz, as they haven't recovered from Mitrovic in this game, because Muniz is very good in real life. He had that standout season and a standout budget, so £57 million. However, I want to get this team working the way it is currently at the moment. So that's more focused on loan deals, because we just wanted to get the initial loans. Sessegnon to a right back, that's the first protocol, only 2 weeks. Then Iwobi to a left mid, and it worked. Only 37 weeks now. Pereira will stay as a cam, and Traore and Wilson are both right wingers now. I changed that up last season, as I could technically buy some coaches after transfers as the tactic. I am going to go for a wing play motion. Get Iwobi scoring some goals. We've got Reece Nelson, who we just bought permanently, who is still on the bench himself. And yes, we definitely need a striker with Vinicius there. He failed at Tottenham, so yep, I really want a front man. And not one we loan out, but one, again, we get to use permanently. As the first one that came to mind, I thought his rating would go up being a Bundesliga player now. Jan Fiete up, but it hasn't. He's only 69 overall. So I won't be signing him, and I don't think you guys will be a fan of this man. Bamford, I thought he was 75 rated. Obviously, I'm wrong. He's been injured a long time. And there's Hosselu on this list, who we've signed before, but no longer a free agent. But don't you guys worry, because I am stacked on options to sign for the club. Miriam Boadu out of contract, the same age as Muniz, only 1 rating lower, and we can get him for a phenomenally cheap price. So I am taking him. Now he's at Monaco, and I don't think he's doing overall too badly. Just not the same player he was, as now I really like the team we have. Him on the bench, we've got Sessegnon training. Defense is now 80 rated. This is really good, but again, I want to play up to this challenge of signing failed Wonderkids, and with Zaha getting a little bit older, I think we do go for another winger, and this guy is phenomenally rated. Left-footed, running out of contract, so could get in for around 30 million. Francisco Trincao, only 25. If we make him a left mid or left winger, this man failed in the Premier League with Wolverhampton. So the Portuguese man comes back to link up with another Portuguese manager in Silva. Okay, and we've kind of stepped it up. I had had to think about it. 6th in the league. Now Spurs, Newcastle and Aston Villa below us, so we hope they haven't won a trophy. It's not UCL, but we did finish 8 points off the Premier League, which is a bigger gap, or smaller, sorry, should I say, than Arsenal and Liverpool in real life. So I don't think we've done too bad, and Liverpool have won the FA Cup. We were out to Spurs in round 3, so we're not doing well domestically, but Liverpool win the Carabao, so I think with our 6th position, that should put us into Europe. I believe as well the Europa League, but maybe I'm wrong, maybe it isn't, as we lost to Wolves in round 3 of the Carabao. But let's see how Trincao got on with our team. And this is it. Okay, I'm not minding this. A lot of 80 rated, and on the bench there is Traore, who can swap with Nelson. Boadu is now 80 rated, and that puts him in the team over Muniz, but also Iwobi, 30-year-old, but he's changed to a left wing and 85, so he's better than Trincao. But if we take Trincao out, we put him on the right-hand side next season. That is a very good Fulham team. I think next season we work on the defence, as Torreira's our best player, but next season we get him back. What a calculated loan deal for Emil Smith-Rowe, scoring goals for fun in Germany, giving Andreas Pereira a problem because he's going to try and take his position, but he is 84 rated. He got 20 goals, but Alex Iwobi, man, he got 21, and he was out of position for it. Most of the season, I'm obviously meaning, as now, like I said, defensive work. Anderson is 30, is 81 rated, so it's going to be difficult. We do have Diop as a backup as well, but to find a young centre-back who is failed, there is a few, but I don't think they're too great in my head. And also this man Quensa, we've really wasted him. He had a bit of potential, but we couldn't find a loan deal for him, so he's unfortunately stayed in our reserves. As yes, centre-back's going to be the first option. I do trust Sessegnon to keep on growing at right back, and then maybe a defensive midfielder. And the reason I say that, Sander Berg has done very well for himself out on loan and also at the club, but when I look at his stats, they're really good for a centre-back, so I'll move him back because the centre-back options aren't cracking. I'll show you them in a moment, and now it prioritises a CDM, as I'm kind of spoiling my list here of players for potential failed Wonderkid saves in the future, but my first option was Umtiti, who's 74 rated. Reece Oxford is kind of good if you get his potential shooting up, and Tomiyasu can be good when you change him to a centre-back instead of a full-back. Did a save previously using him. We did this with Como, and we've done it with plenty of others. They're on the channel somewhere. You guys have been liking these saves, literally by leaving likes, so please do leave a like on this one, as I've found another player. This man's a Scotsman who failed in the Prem, and I am not talking Scott McTominay, but I remember seeing videos of this man, Billy Gilmore, when he was at Chelsea. 82 rated. Had to pause there because his stats don't look good. He is only 5'7". But what the hell? We need another midfielder, and he's been at Chelsea before, so he should kind of know the area. And plus, he's signed for more than Torreira, who's significantly older than him, but still, he's a few ratings higher. So I don't understand that one. And then the next problem we have is the age of the squad. Bernd Leno, 34. Andreas Pereira, 30-year-old himself. Traore is getting older, plus our strikers aren't overly good. They're all 3 failed Wonderkids. Boadu being the best, but I thought I could find someone a little bit better, and I do have someone in mind, but £27 million is not enough to afford him, because he's a failed Wonderkid who's done pretty well overall, but not living up to the hype he had at the start of his career. As for this career, our expectation is to win the Europa League title. Okay, and I'm obviously hoping we can do that because we need our way into the Champions League, which is not going to be easy still. Despite having a good team, we've got Iwobi at an 88, Smith-Rowe at an 89, Berger's played in the defence. Despite not changing his position yet, we've got Gilmore in the midfield. Trincao has not been playing. There we go, I can flick to him at 27. That is rather concerning, but then it has gave game time to Pereira on the bench. Muniz has stayed at an 81. Traore's at an 83. Harry Wilson going under the radar, 85 as a 30-year-old. And I've tried something with his position because I'm trying something different with the squad. Obviously needing to improve. we're not getting the best of players now available to us in failed Wonderkids, as Berger's up to an 87 in our defense, as we could change Andreas Pereira to a striker with that 90 shooting, but I've also got another option. Harry Wilson, or I thought I had. It turns out he's not going to change at all, so we'll try and make him our backup cam, change Pereira to our striker. Never did I think this man would be one, and I've changed his position, and he's an 89 rated. How is this man that goddamn good? He got sold from Manchester United, and even sometimes there he played defensively. But here he just scores goals, because before we actually changed his position, he's got game time, he scored 31, got 11 assists, and then Iwobi with 26. But that's the biggest shock out of this career mode ever. Never did I think Andreas Pereira would be our striker here, and never did I think in 3 seasons we'd be in the Champions League. Taking less defeats than Manchester City, 5, but our draws did cost us. As maybe we need a new keeper, but Leno isn't getting any younger. That's something to look out for next season, as also I want a domestic trophy. Losing 3-1 to Chelsea again. A derby defeating a domestic cup. With only round 3 again of the Carabao, we don't progress. We got beat on penalties by West Ham United, as next year we're going to be in the Champions League. But this year we're in the Europa, and I tell you what, that's a perfect start. Finishing top of the Europa League group above Chelsea, above Newcastle. Or league phase, sorry, as then we beat our bogey team in Porto. Hate playing them on the channel, and we beat Frankfurt 3-0. Then we beat Chelsea on penalties, finally having a good cup run, which we haven't had in saves before, and we got Newcastle in the finale, beating both English teams, securing our place in the Champions League, and doing it in style with the Wonderkids failed ones winning a trophy. Come on now, our progression is absolutely mental. As a position change we can make straight away. That's a +1 for a bench player. Harry Wilson, who was a bit of a failure or flop at Liverpool. Won't call him an exact failure because he's revived his career at most clubs since. But he is going to be on the bench alongside all these different players. I mean, Reece Nelson's in the reserves, same as Boadu, and Bender I'm staring at. Maybe he's the reason we haven't done well in cups, because it's a 68 rated backup keeper. And with Burnt Leno 35, yes, he's increasing, but he's going to go down soon. So he's the man I want to prioritise. We're probably going to get some 90 rateds this year. Probably Smith Rowe, Pereira, maybe Torreira, maybe Iwobi. As Robinson and Bassi and Sessegnon, in fact the whole back line were already at the club before we got here, showing how good it is. And most of them were failed Wonderkids, so I'm loving what Fulham's done here. Before I even got to the club, as a goalkeeper, and I'm not forgetting striker, Muniz is 81, Boadu is the same. They're the same age, so if I could get someone just a few ratings higher than them. Is Portuguese like the manager, like Trincao was, but Goncalo Guedes? He's not really too good, so I'm going to have to go for my second option, which is a stretch. Andre Silva at Leipzig, because he failed at AC Milan. Only signing a small contract though, but he's on astronomical money, and he is another Portuguese player, so he fits into Marco Silva's style. Not as much as Andreas Pereira, no idea where that 90 shooting came from. Well, I probably do, scoring goals, but now it's time for a backup goalkeeper. And if only Joe Hart was still in the game, I would have loved to have him, because I hated how his career went. And speaking of someone's career that went nowhere despite him kind of being good, Alban Lafont now is at Cagliari, 28, and was once supposed to be the next big thing in world football. As there he is, taking his spot on the bench. I think we've lost a centre-back, maybe not, but we've got an 89 rated sat there. Absolute madness going on at this team. As then when we look at the first, oh my days, Leno is going down. We have lost Calvin Bassi, replaced by Anderson, but then Sander Berge will put him on the left-hand side. Torreira's 90, Smith Rowe, Pereira, Iwobi. Trincao stayed at an 87, he's got an injury, but still, change him over for Wilson, and maybe then change Smith Rowe to the right, and you've got 4 OG players up front together, and these are the ratings, with 6 of the first 7 being OG players. Again, madness. Incredible to see how far Fulham's come, and we might have a Ballon d'Or winner in Andreas Pereira, 47 goals as a new striker. Genuinely phenomenal. Get Vinicius Jr. in the bin right now, as this man would have been the highest rated as well. In the defense, 91 rated Calvin Bassey moves to Napoli, showing how good our team has been, and this better win the Premier League. But we don't. Only 5 defeats again, but some teams have got better, including Arsenal and Man City, because them two have run away with the league. Whereas usually 75 points is enough, as don't tell me round 3. Oh my days, Plymouth, bottom of the championship, beat us immediately. We really don't like cups here in England with the Cottagers. As round 3 of the Carabao Cup, Manchester City, you honestly can't write it. But last time we did win the Europa League after doing bad in the English Cups, as Paris only just beat us, just in the Super Cup. And I think that's a pretty good omen, as again, just like the Europa League, we go unbeaten in the Champions League, somehow above City this time, with the players that we do have, as we had to come back against Valencia, struggling in real life, and then we finally get a win over City, before drawing Borussia Dortmund, who I believe we've actually never lost to get ourselves into the final. Lombardia or Inter to play, who have some pretty decent players, no failed Wonderkids like our team, who have to try and beat one of the best teams over in Italy. As here we go, it's black and white, of course my favourite ribbon colours, but we really need to get a win here. I think this is at Benfica's ground, which is usually the stadium we win at, but this is definitely not going to be easy. We've got Pereira as our striker. In-game might not be too good. However, Wilson just behind him, he's almost ancient himself. It's very surprising to me how quick we've got this save done with this team. Trying to get their careers back on track, as we need to be careful with the ball. Lautaro Martinez is a threat. Sander Berge is a threat with his height, but we still haven't got a tackle in here. Anderson as well joining him. Got to be careful on our centre-backs, because one I really didn't want there, and Andreas Pereira dropping back into his cam slot, looking for a ball out on the wing. We're a little bit sloppy, but Emil Smith-Rowe robs it into Pereira. That header's very weak. Poor effort as Ollie Watkins, and that is the failure of our centre-back. I'm really worried about both of them. Now it's a save each with Leno, crouching to pick that ball up, as maybe we should have signed Lafont earlier, maybe for another rebuild, so we need to try and get away with this ball here. With this second half needing to be better, Alex Iwobi, I'm surprised we haven't seen anything from our high-rated players. I guess they're old, I guess they're losing pace, as Jedi isn't. Robinson running into the box a bit here. If he gets dragged back, it's a foul, but he runs out of play with the ball. Giving the ball straight back to Murray, who's had the ball more than anybody. But Lautaro, get a tackle in there. No. Miley. Lewis Miley for them. Very weird signing. I guess his little brother is a failed wonder kid, because he's now at Hartlepool in non-league. There's a ball through there. Pereira, can he return it? Alex Iwobi going for the gap and shot. Still not into the net though, as now Smith-Rowe. A bit of space this time for Harry Wilson, as now it goes into Lucas Torreira. Torreira on a bit of a run. That's a good ball towards Wilson. If he can pull it back to Pereira, it's a good save, Murray. Pushing late on into this save, as now it's Alex Iwobi into Harry Wilson again towards the backstick. A brilliant stop. Havar that time, as now it is now or never. The short corner hasn't really worked. We've gone too far back. It's Sessegnon into Torreira, out wide into Wilson. The chance to whip it in again. Robinson over the top. Sander Berge out to Alex Iwobi. I tell you what, the moves of passing we've put together has been brilliant, but in the execution, you can tell there's some old legs in our team, and both in theirs, because they've got Andrew Robertson. And I think that's going to be penalties, as the game we've dominated in must be decided by spot kicks, and I don't believe it. Our set pieces have been pretty bad, but a very good penalty, Harry Wilson. Not had many penalty shootouts on FIFA, as I've been Panenka'd or FC, as now it's going to be the striker Pereira, and that's saved by Murray. He did plenty of that in the game, but still, I knew we were going to save that. I just had a feeling in my brain. As now, Billy Gilmore do not let us down. Going to the same side. That is perfectly in the top corner, so still 1-1. It's Antonio Nusa, a youngster, top corner. Everybody's going for them top bins. As Smith-Rowe, I was very disappointed in-game by this man, but again, I know my top bins and how to reach them. As Moses Caicedo, I've got to go to that side. gambled on the wrong edge. Sessegnon now, and I'm finally going to change it up for us, and it's a good job I did, as now this could be the winning one. Come on, 1 penalty save each. Asllani, oh, Leno, dives the wrong way as Alex Iwobi going for that top bin. No saving that, as can Leno save us against Bastoni? He's going to, with the hand below him, crowning Fulham Champions League winners only after 4 seasons. This is the quickest save we've completed, and a brilliant save by Leno means the Cottagers will go down as our quickest save in FC 25, and it's black and white ribbons, and again, it's an OG who's going to lift it. Leno, kind of a failed wonderkid when he made move to Arsenal, as he is the captain. He made the save, and there is the trophy lifted in the sky. And don't you guys worry if you like these failed wonderkid saves. I have got plenty more on the list. You can see all the ones unticked, or you're not seeing them very close up because I'm keeping them in the brain. As if you do want to see another save, comment one below or click on screen.